The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, welcome to another edition of our program, CHW in Action, with your host, Rafael Calderon. As always, I like to explain that CHW stands for Community Health Worker in Action because I am a community health worker and I'm always in action to bring you, the community of Nashua, information about how to live a healthy lifestyle. And again, I try to find interesting people in the community that know more than I do about different areas of how to live a healthy lifestyle, which I always like to emphasize. It's not just about not getting sick or not having an illness or treating an illness. Living a healthy lifestyle is about approaching a holistic approach type of view where we live a full life, a happy life. And that requires different areas of our lives. With that in mind, I wanted to touch today on a new topic that I'm learning about and my guest is also learning about. So we'll have an informal conversation about it. This is the beginning of a series of conversations about this topic. As we go along, we will have professional medical people that will come in and will shed light on this issue, on this topic that we'll talk about, which is HDHD. So let us welcome our guest, Oscar Villassis. Don Oscar, ¿cómo está usted?
Bien, bien. Gracias.
Good to have you in the show.
Thank you very much.
I have to throw in the Spanish because we're both Spanish.
Absolutely.
Spanish
I can go back and forth. I like that.
See? No, let's keep it in English. So that,
okay, absolutely.
No, but I just wanted to throw in the Spanish because we're both Spanish.
Absolutely.
Okay?
No problem.
So it's a pleasure to have you. Tell us who you are, your full name, your title, what you're about.
Okay. My name is Oscar Villassis. I am owner of InUni and some other business ventures within the community, and I'm also involved in, and I want to come to the show to bring some light on ADHD.
Okay, good. Let's keep a conversation here because I want to learn about that, and I want to know more about Uni. Is that what you called it?
InUni, yep.
What does that come from? What does that mean?
InUni is a brand that I started about 4 years ago. It has to do with individually unique. And for that person that tries so hard to fit in but does an amazing job sticking out, that is what the brand is about. It's about self-expression and individuality, kind of about the topic that we're about to talk about.
So you are an entrepreneur then? That's what I heard. I heard that you start things, you make them happen, and then you go to something else.
I try to stay consistent to the passion that drives me and motivates me.
Excellent. Okay, so now let's talk about what brought us together today. What brought us here together today? HDHD.
Well, I want to kind of bring to light something a little bit personal to me, something that I've been kind of struggling all my life, and more in depth on what I've been kind of figuring out about myself. As young as 12 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD.
Okay. Tell us about that.
ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And it's the way my mind, I I'm learning about it as an adult because I thought it was just something that happens within youth, but I didn't realize that adults have it as well until I started doing some research. And when that was happening, my mind was kind of focused a little bit more on why am I feeling some of the feelings that I have within me as a youth, and trying to figure out more of the focus as a young adult.
You were trying to figure it out.
Right.
Okay.
So what I was doing was, as I was figuring it out, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
As I was figuring it out.
That's okay. That's part of the fun.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
As I was figuring it out, I came to learn a lot about myself and a lot about most of the projects that I've been starting within the 5-year span. I came up with this program called Untouched Talent for a nonprofit organization for kids.
That sounds nice.
And what I was doing is I was trying to find an avenue where kids can self-express themselves artistically.
Would that be because that's how you felt inside and you wanted to?
Yeah, absolutely. I approached the youth in a way that, without kind of like an authority figure, I wanted to approach them in a way that they can express themselves in every avenue.
Okay.
And tying that to what I'm learning about now, how my brain is wired that everything I do it with passion.
Yes.
And the reason why is because my brain is like popcorn, if you will. Pop, right. So if I think about something during the day, it could be a drive or an inspiration that moves me, I go with it.
Okay.
And if it doesn't motivate me or drive me, or if I'm not passionate about it, I step back and reflect.
Okay.
But ADHD, how the brain works is your executive decisions and motive skills don't attach really well, and you lose sensibility of that. So what happens is if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you completely disregard it.
So does that mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but just so that the audience can understand more, because I'm trying to learn myself. It's basically what you're saying is that you can be very passionate about something and get started and become gung-ho about it.
Right.
But then something might distract you.
Right.
And then that would take away that passion, that sense of urgency.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And as myself, I am my own worst critic. So everything I do, it has to be in a certain detail. I fine-tune things, whether it is from creating a design or working with kids, and making sure that everything is precise and I execute everything that is on my. It's like a painting. Picking the color of the painting before you even have the canvas.
Interesting.
So that's how my mind works, and I've been trying to attach that into my everyday life and trying to execute those decisions that I have made.
Okay.
But then there's a butterfly in the room.
Okay.
And as soon as I'm laser focused on something, that idea or that thought might bring me back into a passion. And then, what was that again?
Okay.
So,
Is it like a distracting mechanism?
well, that's what I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find out how other people that have ADHD, because there's a lot of people out there that have either been diagnosed and they're medicating, or there's a lot of people that haven't been diagnosed that are dealing with it, and how are they dealing with it. So I want to come together to find or try to find a way to bring those people together into a support group and to feed off each other and to see what helps you or what doesn't help you, or how do you live. Because CEOs, like the CEO from JetBlue, he has ADHD. A lot of artists, a big executive, producers, music is Music motivates me. I love music.
Well, I'm going to ask you what kind of music you like and what motivates you music-wise, but I wanted to just touch on that. What I've heard about ADHD is that it can be a blessing and it can be a curse. Some
Absolutely.
people can take it and control it. And let's not say control it, that's a bad word, manage it.
Manage it.
They can manage it and then use it to become very, very creative.
Right.
And then some other people can use it and take it and become depressed about it.
Right.
So am I to understand that you want to learn more about it for yourself, but you also want to find a way to use your desire to learn more as you wanted to turn it into a tool for the community. So you want to create a support group so you can share with the people, so you can give people an opportunity, right, to voice their opinions.
A lot of that is absolutely right. A lot of people that are dealing with ADHD that don't know that they have it are self-medicating.
How are they self-medicating?
Well, ADHD is a constant battle every day I wake up. Every day I wake up. And some days it's easier than others.
Okay.
And even right now, I'll be open with you. Even right now, trying to conversate with you, my mind is everywhere.
Okay.
But to try to home in on this exact moment, I'm already executing 10 steps ahead before the conversation even started, that my mind is going faster than the moment.
Interesting.
And I feel sometimes that I'm already in the future and I have moments of this already has happened, like deja vu.
I think that's very cool, by the way.
It is. It's a blessing and a cursing, because the blessing part about it is, all right, you can control some aspects, but your motor systems won't let you pump the brakes.
Okay.
It's like a Ferrari engine that never stops. My mind is always forward, 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 forward.
So would that explain how come you've been involved in so many entrepreneurial projects, because you need to keep?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I've been involved in a lot of entrepreneurial things, and the reason why is because if something catches my attention, I cannot step back and say, what if? I always have to pursue it so that I know myself that if I'm, just like the moment earlier how I said, if my future matches up to reality at the moment, but I'm trying to calculate what's happening in my brain and executing it at that time.
Okay.
So I have to move forward. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm everywhere right now with
No, that's okay.
the
That's
conversation,
okay.
but I mean, this is as vulnerable as I've ever been talking about it, because a lot of people are like, well, Oscar, you're involved in a lot of things. You're flying a plane, you're becoming a private pilot, you're opening up this business, you're doing this, you're getting involved with that, you're flying this, you're flying that. And to be honest with you, I'm blessed to be fortunate to start and have the opportunity of doing that. But at the same time, I don't feel fear. I don't have time for that. My thoughts don't have time for that.
Interesting.
My thoughts are just like, get it done, because you're already there. And at times, my ADHD as well executes some of the depressing parts of those times. And as I step back, I look into, am I doing too much? Did I bite more than I can chew or swallow? You know, and I want to see who else is out there struggling and battling the battle that I'm facing with every day.
We'll find out. We're going to start the support
Yeah,
group.
yeah.
Okay. And we're going to use this TV show and other mechanisms to get the word out there, find other people that are where you are or have been where you are.
Right.
So what I want to know is, why is it so important for you to give like a voice to people that are going through the same thing? Does it have anything to do with the fact that some people see ADHD as not socially acceptable, and you want to save people to go through some of the stresses that you went through?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we live in a society where you wake up, you have a 9 to 5, you come in, you clock in, you're mechanically in tuned into society's industrial world. You come in, you clock in, you do what you got to do, and then you go back home. And then you do it all over again. But for somebody that has ADHD, that's impossible.
Okay.
It's impossible. And the reason why is because you might start with a vision on why you're doing that at the beginning, but if it doesn't drive you and you're not passionate about it, your heart and your emotions might have an attachment to it, but your mind won't allow you to continue. They'll say, that is not for us. Your mind and your heart are completely two different entities that are not synced. And when they try to be synced, there's nothing that can rip you apart from that. Nothing.
Wow, interesting.
Because it's like you said, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. Again, when I'm passionate about something, I'm completely passionate about something. I'm so laser focused. You cannot tear me apart. I'll tell you an experience.
And thank you for being so vulnerable.
Yeah,
I truly
no
appreciate
problem. This is truly not about me. I'm not here to talk about my life. I'm here to express on how I feel, why it is that I am able to do so many things, and how I can relate to others, because I'm a Hispanic with ADHD. It's not socially acceptable, and I don't think my culture even knows that it can be diagnosed to adults. I think that, as our expression in Hispanics, eso es una inquietud.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
That's something that children go through. You know? Focus. Pay attention.
Eso se va
Stay
con la
still.
edad.
Yeah, exactly. Stay still. And for me, I couldn't. I lived in Brooklyn. As soon as I got out of school, I got home. I didn't want to do my homework. All I want to do is ride my bike. Oh, he's not paying attention. Everybody's focusing with the teacher and the blackboard, and I'm looking at the birds or the butterfly outside the window, trying to focus. And then all of a sudden, it's like time is standing still while I'm focusing. I'm hyper focused on that. I need to find out what's out there. Just that's what has happened throughout my years. And then I look, and then I look over, and class is almost over, and kids are already doing their assignments. They're already done it. And I look at my page, and I haven't even started.
So this affected your growing up a lot?
Absolutely. It has affected a lot of kids that I've grown up with, that I have been around. And even here, when moving into Nashua, you know, I was at the Nashua Children's Home. And some kids that have had ADHD have self-medicated and have overdosed and passed away.
Wow.
And sometimes I look at myself and reflect, and I know I have a strong family base, but so have those kids. And why am I fortunate enough to not be willing to take medication, not being willing to self-medicate, and still have that drive and not, I battle with this disease.
How do you battle?
I battle with this disease because...
Tell me how, because people may be watching you, and they may be going through what you're going through, and they may not have the strength that you have to be open about it.
I'm not strong.
You look very strong to me, Oscar. You do a lot of cool things.
I'm not strong. Maybe my curiosity keeps me distracted from the true pain that I feel inside and in my head sometimes, and it's hard. And
I understand.
It's so it took me till now to be at the age that I am now to really focus and understand, and not until only 30 days ago have I been really in tuning with what's been going on, and man, it's hard. And I just want to educate. I probably have siblings that are going through it that don't know that they're going through it, because it's genetic.
Yes.
I have, I was on the phone with, I hope my mom doesn't mind this story. I was on the phone with my mom, and I was talking to her about her day, and she wanted to buy a new car. And She was talking, hey, come with me to the deal, and I'm like, all right, sure, I can squeeze you in. I have to make sure that I'm focused on that so I don't forget it. And I don't do it on purpose, I promise. And anybody that's probably listens to this is, I promise I don't ignore you on purpose.
Everybody knows you're a cool guy.
Yeah,
And I had to interrupt you,
yeah.
but I just want to correct you. You said that you don't think you're strong. It takes a lot of strength for anyone to sit down and talk to someone else and share these
Yeah,
things.
I just think that
So you're stronger than you think, in my opinion.
thank you, I appreciate that. I didn't think I was gonna cry, but it's so wrapped up.
Real men cry too.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
worry
no,
about it.
I'm not worried about that. See, that's my ADHD. I was talking about my mom. So, anyways, I was on the conversation with her about getting a new car, and she's on the phone with me, and in order for us to both pay attention, one has to be completely still.
Okay.
So I'm completely still. I'm listening to my mom, and I let her talk. She's talking and talking. And she's chopping up, she's cooking something, she's doing this, she's talking, having a conversation with my grandmother. I'm like, Mom, are you listening to me? And she's like, yeah, yeah. So then she's talking to my grandmother, blah, 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 blah. And if you notice little hints of ADHD, it's like you're speaking in tongue. And for our culture, Hispanics, when you speak in Spanish, and it's like you're foreign to the language. So when I speak, I have to make sure, even in English, I have to make sure that I'm calm, I'm speaking clearly and slow, that people can understand me, because it's like my mind, it really takes over. And I noticed that on my mom, and I was like, Mom, are you sure that you don't have ADHD, or have you ever been diagnosed? So I'm pointing out some, and she goes, Hispanic, Mom, no, you got that from your father's side.
Typical. Typical, yeah.
So you got that from your father's side. So I'm talking to my mom, and I'm like, all right. So I kind of, that's why I want to do my research, and I want to make sure that I'm touching base with anybody that's out there struggling and feeling the same struggle that I'm feeling. And
I'll tell you what, talk to the audience. Tell them, reach out to them.
If you're struggling with ADHD, or I'm not a clinical professional or clinic professional but if you're out there struggling with ADHD, I would love to sit down and talk to you on how you go about your everyday life, and how it is that you just get up and do what you do. Because sometimes, even to get up and to live life when the world is how it is at this moment, it can be so tough. And the willpower and the strength that you have inside is truly beyond. It's not about me. I'm not strong. You're strong.
And how can they reach you if they want to contact
you can reach me at my email. It's o.villacis.86@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you guys.
Excellent, thank you. Now, let's touch on this idea of this disease. It's a disease, it's a chronic disease, and as you know, I teach classes on how to manage chronic diseases.
Right.
So far, I've been concentrating on diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure. Recently, I got involved in prostate cancer.
Right.
In fact, my next guest is a very nice lady that is going to talk to me, is going to talk to us about how cancer affects the family, because I want to learn how I can be useful. Just like you want to learn how to basically connect with people, you want to learn more so you can help people.
Right, absolutely.
So you motivate me to want to learn more about this disease.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how that is affecting, how it affects our community to not be open to talk about these things. Because me, see, like you in this instance, every word that I'm telling you in English, I'm thinking it in Spanish.
Yeah, okay.
Every single word.
Right.
So I have to remember to slow myself down. Because if not, then I'll be talking so right.
Yeah.
Then I look at videos when I don't control myself and I don't understand myself. So a lot of us go through that. And I don't know if that's part of, ADHD. But as far as our community, our Hispanic community, we have many taboos, many things about this.
Yeah.
How do you think it's affecting us to not talk openly about this matter?
I think it's I think we're in tune to see that if it's a disease that you can't see, it doesn't exist. And that is not the case. I mean, it affects your neurotransmitters in your brain and your executive functions. And of course, you'll never see that, you know?
Okay.
So I'm not no professional. I'm not saying that the symptoms that I'm feeling, and you might relate to some or a couple, you have ADHD. I think that if you have any questions or if you might be curious, I think that you should definitely go get seen. But there is a social stigma within our community, the Hispanic community, that we don't tend to find out until it's too late.
That is so very true in many levels.
And what happens is you can be generations, because it's genetic, generations in, until you have somebody that can function with it and is either self-medicating or can't exist anymore and doesn't want to exist. And that's when suicide comes in.
See, this is really what I want to get into, just when we're about to run out of time. So let's do two things.
Yeah.
Number one, let's talk about you coming back.
Absolutely.
Because we'll have a series. This is the beginning of many. We'll bring some professional medical person to come and join us and talk about this. The second thing is, what message would you have for our community of Nashua, the community as a whole, Spanish, American, anyone, what message would you have regarding what you want to do, what you're going through, and how you want to connect with others via a support group?
If you can't see it, it doesn't mean that it exists. Open your third eye and reach out to that person just by a simple text or a conversation and start a dialogue, because that can save somebody's life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oscar, thank you for being here.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for being so open. And
No
I'm
problem.
telling you, I disagree with you. I think you're a strong man. Not everybody can do what you just did. And you know
Thank
me a
you.
little bit to know that I don't lie.
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
So you're a strong man.
Thank you. I
okay?
appreciate it.
And thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
come back and let's do this again.
Thank you for having me.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, audience, for being with us. As you can see, this man is super cool. He's going through his situation, but he's handling it very well. As you heard me just say, I disagree with him. I think he's very strong. It takes a lot of strength to open up yourself to a community so they can see who you truly are. Who you truly are. So now I respect him even more than before. And I want you to please reach out to us so we can help him get his support group started. I'll be in the support group just so that I can learn more and be a more effective community health worker for our community of Nashua. And with that, I want to thank you again for your time. It's been a pleasure. God bless you. Have a good night.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.